And I think we're live. Sorry, guys, we got
Broadcast is
caught up in
live.
conversation. How are you guys doing tonight? Can you guys hear us okay? Even though Livingston's not talking, he's a mime tonight. Don't worry about him. Just draw pictures.
Just kidding. I'm right here. Can you guys hear everybody? Everybody give me a 5x5 in the chat. It pops up. Oh wait, hold on. I'm making the wrong thing here. Oh my god, look at all these people. All right. Now I see why you asked. Can you see the comments? Okay. I'll learn.
You're supposed to be better at computers than me. What the hell?
I don't know about this StreamYard thing. I never actually flew solo on this guy before. All right, I got it though. Hello, everybody. I'd like to thank my mother Spark for having me. Never been invited to somebody else's channel by myself before, so like
Oh,
said,
really?
no, it's ever.
I popped Livingston's cherry. I'm so excited.
There we are. All of us together. You guys can watch it live.
That's the OnlyFans type thing there, buddy.
All right. Well, we'll get the Venmo and the Patreon and all that. Somebody drop that in the comments. However, you guys, you mods, go ahead, do your thing.
Yeah, I think does everyone know Livingston? I'm sure you guys do. If you don't know Livingston, y'all need to check him out. I did pin his channel in the description, but I'm gonna put it in the chat too. But Livingston, if you want to talk about you for 45 minutes, I'll be back to check on you.
Yeah, you can just, go ahead and do your thing.
Perfect.
I'll hold it down. Well, I see a lot of familiar names in here. If you never heard of me before, like lucky you. But I work at Hudson Valley Prepping and Survival. Actually, I'm like the cameraman, sort of. Let me see. I'm on Mike's right, but he's on my left. I run the cameras, do some editing and stuff. We're a tag team duo that you get with that channel. If you don't know about that, there's that. And otherwise, in real life, I am exactly the same as I act on the internet. I eat Spam raw from the can, sometimes with my bare hands, and I can mow a mean lawn. I'll tell you what. And I don't. Ask me about myself. I'm a pretty cool guy, I think. I am like the coolest guy I know, honestly. So I'll leave it at that. That's for me to say. That's not for everybody else to say. But that's for me to say.
Well, I have to say you're pretty good at dodging squirrel nuts.
That day was strange. I felt like a malevolent presence. Like when I entered that area, I think I'd even earlier in the video commented that was like cut way down from the whole video. Are you frozen or are you just not moving? Or are we still live?
There we go.
All right. So, yeah, that area has this dark energy for whatever reason anyway, and I felt it when I walked in there. And you ever had like a baseball thrown at you or, something, you hear it like kind of sizzling when it comes in, like, and like you instinctually, I knew that squirrel threw that walnut at me and I didn't even see it. And I just like Matrix reacted to it. I was happy to have caught it on camera. If you don't know what I'm talking about, that was the point.
Well, we saw the squirrel stalking you for like 10 minutes.
I was in envy of the people who would, when you watch it back, you get the benefit of being able to stare at the background. Whereas I'm just like walking along, like talking about like dirt or something, whatever I was going on about. And whack, he tried to get me. He said, "Your stupid lesson's boring, Teach." He wasn't that wrong. And he missed too. Better luck next time.
Cuck Farmer said that you're supposed to have Russian bot below your name.
Let me see here. Boy, there's some sirens going on. And I bet you I know why. We had this influx of migrants from below the southern border. And they all come up here to peep at the leaves and pollute our campgrounds and stuff. And then they all drive like beyond their means. Like they're like, I am a race car driver. And like, then you see them, you're like, you are not a race car driver, dude. And unfortunately, it sounds like somebody learned the hard way. Somebody on the Columbia County scanners knows what's going on. Accident on the TSP again. Wouldn't you know it?
I want you
Sorry.
to know if they knock on your door, I'm going to let it roll.
They won't knock on my door. They'll ring the stupid doorbell. They'll be like, we just want to talk. Like, how many of you are there? Like 5. Like, talk to each other then. Cops. My doormat says like F off. Like, it's like, don't. I don't answer phones really. Like when their phone rings, Mike knows what I'm talking about. I'm like, absolutely not. Like, text me. That's what we do here. This is 2023, everybody. Text. Thank you. Even though the phone is cooler and the video phone is even cooler. Remember when that was like not real? And everybody was like, oh my God, imagine you had a video phone, dude, that's so cool. Now we literally have it. I'm like, absolutely not. No, not right now. Like, just text me, bro. I want that telegraph. Just like tick that fucking SOS at me. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I don't answer my phone either. If I don't have to, I don't answer it. And I don't call people back. Like, I'm really bad about it. I just don't want to talk to anybody.
Truths we all hide from. All right, like when I BS you and I'm like, oh my, I like lost my phone. I bet you I probably didn't. I bet you I ignored your. I bet what happened is I ignored your call and then forgot that I even did it. In my mind, I was telling the truth. Devil Dog Prepper. It's a Michelob Ultra to be exact. The pinnacle of beer for real.
What got you started on survival?
How did I get started on survival? This funny thing happened, right? I was born. And today I'm still alive. I realized that I survived. No. So actually my father, it started probably with him, right? Your classic like Vietnam vet, like class of 67, 18 years old, right out of like, small town high school, shipped off to the bush to go wreck him, And he came back and, I grew up like putting his size 12 like jungle boots on, like stomping around the house, 3 years old, pulling his old crap out of his duffel bag and playing with it. And as a little kid, as a little boy too, class of, was born in like the early 80s. So G.I. Joe, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Rambo, all this is like so cool, and then you got like you find these old angle head flashlights in your old man's duffel bag, and you got the filters for them, and you and your buddies are running around in camouflage and your toy guns. Remember that used to be a thing before they actually looked fucking real back then. And that probably where it started as far gear wise. Like I already sort of knew how to use this stuff. Because of all the things he didn't encourage in my life, that he did. It was always, I think, warmed his heart a little to see like the little kid out there playing with his army stuff. And it turned into later on in life carrying around. I mean, all through high school, I wore freaking combat boots and camouflage pants. I just looked like that. And then, Columbine ruined that for everybody. And then we got a paintball team going on, and we started doing like the more like tactical, like unit maneuvers and this sort of thing, but still using the same like, surplus gear and all that crap. That evolved into like moving into like these patriot movements, which I didn't really ever have too much to do with, but I knew a lot of guys that did. Then that turned into like essentially when all those movements sort of fractured and fell apart. We're here kind of. The sane ones amongst us are all banded together. It took a minute to work it all out, but here we are.
And then one day you got up and you said, I'm going to go on a hunting trip and find me some Spam.
Actually, that was I thought that Spam came from the store. Mike actually schooled me that the fact that he's like, that's not true, right? And I was like, really? And I did some research and I found like all this information about how to do that. And like, you'd be surprised. Like, I mean, I did a whole presentation on, you're paying money for these things. Come on, guys. Be smart.
That was an awesome video.
That was Mike's idea. I had a really vague, like not that idea about what to do with that. And yeah, Mike like totally directed and shot that whole thing. It was fun.
It looked like a lot of fun. I'm curious how many mishaps did you have making it?
Not too many. And you know what? It helps with that is when it really doesn't come out the way you were planning to, but then you see it and you're like, this is way better than what I was thinking. This is ridiculous. I came up doing comedy stuff too. Some of the first stuff I ever did on YouTube was like this silly skit way back in the day. I'll type it in the chat. Can I? Wait. Am I allowed to chat? Well, anyway, it's called Cubana Escape. And it all started from I was playing around with this camcorder and this huge storm came through and I was outside acting like an Australian weatherman. I was like, it's my storm outside, everybody. Welcome to the shit show, you know? And we edited into this whole thing where we ended up having an anchor man and like a guy outside doing the weather and a guy doing traffic and stuff. It was the stupidest video with no point whatsoever. But we learned that like by doing that, like improv and just go with what is natural, it really ends up coming across the most natural. And, we don't do scripts. We don't do a lot of planning, particularly like even our polar eclipse stuff. There really wasn't a script to it. All the shots and situations are scripted. Like obviously the shot was supposed to be what it was, but as far as what we were saying and doing, there was no real script. Like it was really basic storyboards. And just be creative. Like talk to your camera.
That was an awesome series. That was actually very well done considering what you all had. It was really well done.
Yeah, there's practically no budget if you account for the camera equipment that we essentially already owned. Little flashlights and tiny little GoPro cameras, my garage, and we still pulled it off. I mean, is it corny as hell? Is this Hollywood? Hell no. But that took months of work, and at least it kept us busy through the winter. I mean, and it was an interesting thing to approach and try to do. So it's a cool thing to have under your belt.
What's your favorite part of making those on-site videos?
It ain't the editing, I'll tell you that. Shooting them, actually being behind the camera, like picking out like the tech stuff, like how we're gonna like actually present this, like a frame rates and this. I'm gonna show this in slow mo, all that cool jazz, and like doing the thing myself. And like I like that part. Being in front of the camera in like an acting role was weird for me. And with no script and just like it caused me like a little bit of psychological, like I tossed me up a little bit, like, cause I had to really put myself in a place where like, this was, supposed to be real. And so I have to act like it. And then like the thoughts that you end up having to force yourself to have, I didn't like, but maybe it was a teachable moment and a learning experience or something. I wouldn't take it back. I'd do it again. But yeah, and just doing something so serious was a trip. I like laughing and joking about stuff, and I like to look on the bright side, you guys. Even when it's dark, like make a joke out of it. Gallows humor,
Yeah, well, when we went up there, when my husband and I went up to New York, that's one thing. If y'all have not actually met Livingston Man in person, he seriously is in person as you see him on screen. He was cracking jokes and just sarcastic as could be, quick-witted, and I loved it. I thought it was awesome. I felt at home because there was somebody else that was a smartass like I am, and it was great to have someone be able to give it back as I was dishing it, which you have a hard time finding people. Most people get offended nowadays over everything, but it was nice. It was really awesome to joke around with you and with Mike and Outlaw to just be myself. It was really a pleasure to be able to be myself with other people.
So I happened to look over at the chat. It's like, what are they even talking about? When you just grab random context and you're like, what the hell does that comment mean? Outlaw read it in a Chinese accent. Now I got to scroll up what? Emotional damage. Is that what it is? I bet you. All right. You guys are heathens. I swear to God. Like it's, what I get from people a lot is like, no, dude, it's not you. It's your fans. Like that's my, real, just like all the rest of them, when it's not like Donald Trump, it's his fans. Like it's not like BTS, like that K-pop band. Like it's not them, it's their fans. It's not Justin Bieber, it's his fans. It's not. I get it. I'm cool. My people, they're a little questionable. Questionable. I've seen them. I know them.
I've seen some of the games you guys play on each other. Some of the
I'm just kidding. I love every single one of you guys. If I didn't make fun of you, I don't like you. It's a New York thing, I think. We knew a person from Alabama, and when we first met them, it was like, cracking jokes, talking about General Sherman and the South it ain't gonna rise again and everything else. And they were offended, like, assholes. How dare you speak to me like this? What the hell did I do to you? And it's like, but then like my wife had to explain to her that like, no, listen, these guys are like 8-year-old kids. Like they're just picking on the girl. If they didn't do it, it means they don't like you at all. And you're talking about being able to dish it back to people. Somebody's stupid comment on the internet, even somebody's stupid mouth running in real life, like you got to stop and be like, do I care right now? I absolutely do not. My friends in my formative years taught me that. Like we would just stand around and have roast sessions. We didn't have cell phones and stuff. We just stand there and literally drink 40s and stand in a circle insulting each other. You know what I mean? Like just try to see who would break first. And what you learned is that like you got to be able to take it before you can talk it. And
yeah, exactly.
And especially when it's just words. Come on, man, you got to be harder than that. And words from a person to person is one thing. Text on the internet, please, like disregard. Who cares about hate on the internet? It's not a thing. It can't be real if I don't think it is.
I think at my age, I've gotten to the point where if I don't like you, I'm not going to waste my time even talking to you.
That's it. Yeah, it's just like you kind of know them when you see them and leave it at that. Like I'm at the point where like I don't. Not actively seeking new friends. You know what I mean? Like, I love cool people and I love a new person, but I'm not out there like, please, somebody. I got enough. I got my 5,
So besides music, Livingston, and video editing, is there anything that you enjoy doing that people wouldn't realize you enjoy doing? Any type of hobbies or skills or anything like that people be like, what the hell? Seriously?
Well, I'm actually like a person of many hobbies, which is probably sort of an OCD thing. I get into like one thing and then I got to have like everything that has to do with the thing. And then, have all the, like that sort of toolbox, you know what I mean? So it started with, I want to learn how to play the guitar. And I have many guitars now, all the different ones. They all do all the things, and then it turned into like, then I wanted my own studio. And I had like, actually when I was growing up, there was an old general store on the property. And so I built like a literal like studio in this like, general store. And I got way into audio production. And then I had an old 4-track. It ran off the cassette tapes. Punk ass setup. I thought I invented multi-track recording. I didn't realize that this was already a thing people did. I realized that if I had 2 tape decks and if I recorded like a thing on one of them and then put it over here and I played it and then played along with it and recorded it onto the second one. Yes, indeed. Yeah, that's how you do it. The problem was I thought like I invented this, and I was like, oh no, that's how you do it. Got way into doing that stuff. Then it was, got into the computers, like when they brought those into studios, and it was like, wow, you can do so much, man. Keyboards and synths. You don't need a real drummer, all this crap. Way into that, and then for the life of me, I can't honestly remember how I really got mixed up with Mike, other than to say that his brother Pat, I was in bands with him, and had done a lot of work in like audio music stuff with Pat. And somehow I got involved with Mike, probably through like paintball or something like that. And I'm pretty sure it boiled down to something like he wanted help with his like channel that he was doing, because I had the GoPros and like the stuff. And I was also like, what would be interesting is that like a sort of prepping channel where there's like 2 of them. Because like most of them at the time was like a guy in a room talking to a camera. He's not even looking at it. He's like looking over here. Whereas like maybe there's two of them, it'd be interesting. And a big influence on me going into it was that show MXC. Remember that? With the Asian people getting wrecked on the crazy carnival rides? No? Come on. You never saw MXC with like Kenny Blankenship and Guy Lelouch and all? Really? Oh no, girl, you got to look up some classic MXC. Well, anyway, they got this one guy. The one guy is the host and he's trying to be serious and keep it real. And the other guy is just this total like Beavis. And so I was like, I want to be that guy. Like, and so ended up being that guy for Mike's, trying to be serious. I'm over here like, we ain't doing that.
I never even heard of that show.
I also game. I play PS4 because of what I just have. I'm really big into Grand Theft Auto. I take it rather seriously. Other than that, like I said, other than like stuff I do well for, oh no, I mean, I don't want to sit here and ring bells. I wouldn't say I do, man. I mean, I don't want to be like self-deprecating. What do I do well? Like I said, when I mow your lawn, I'll do it real good. It's going to look nice, man. I mean, I know how to do electric work and stuff, like mostly trade stuff. I would say I know well enough, but I'm still on the path, for everything really. What do I do well? I don't know. Probably nothing. Not yet. Still too young. Still learning. Yeah.
Yeah, your channel, you do a lot of how-tos, and a lot of the how-to videos out there are they're kind of boring because this is what you do, step 1, step 2, but you actually bring humor into your how-to videos. So you keep it laughing and you keep it raw and you don't filter, so it makes it interesting while still teaching people how to do, like with your lawnmower, for instance, when you were working on the lawnmower or the tractor. It was pretty funny. And I love how you give the warnings ahead of time in case anyone gets in there and they're not aware of your channel.
Well, listen, if a dude is working on a machine or a vehicle, like there's going to be a language warning, or should be. I mean, our fathers taught us that. Okay. That's what you do. Like, won't come off, swear at it. You'll get it. Some machines, I mean, it's an honest to God thing is, some machines won't start until you verbally abuse them. And you can quote me on that. One in the chat. You guys know. But yes, I mean, the work I do really takes up most of like my life happily, right? So a lot of what I end up having to show people or what turns into content is that just because I spend that much time doing it. By the time I get home, I'm like tired. I'm like, I just don't feel like I'd love to make you guys killer content. I got to tell you, I just don't feel like it. As much as I appreciate all my viewers and stuff, my channel originally was supposed to be like B footage and behind the scenes and stuff of just Hudson Valley Prep and Survival. And now we do this, like they got the members thing now. So we decided what we'll do with that is we'll show all the behind the scenes stuff and the wacky stuff to the members on the channel rather than have to clog up mine with this. And I'm like, no, so now I have to go make content too. That's great, boss. Thanks. So I try. I wish I could make more. Sometimes, a lot of the time, what I'm doing, I myself honestly find like nobody wants to watch this. Like, it's like, I mean, I pity the fool that would honestly watch me trimming a hedge for 4 hours. I mean, I love you, but log off, dude.
Yeah.
Is that a challenge for you at all? Like, I had to come up with content all the time. Does it get, oh my God, like what am I?
It is. It's hard to get into that or to get out of that mindset. Like you were just saying, a lot of the stuff that we want to put out, we don't put out because we're like, well, people should already know this. And it's hard to do those simple, what we would consider simple things in the video because we're afraid that it's old news. Like it's stuff people already know. They're not going to be interested in it. And it's really hard to get out of that mindset to still do it because there are people that don't know that there's a lot of clueless people out there. There really is. And I'm not trying to be mean, but there are people that really, they're very sheltered, I guess is the best word to use in a nice way. They don't take the time to learn things. But yeah, it's hard. There's 10 million. I have a book of 10 million things that I want to do a video on, but I don't want to put out stuff people would already know. And I, like you, don't have the time because I work 50 plus hours a week. And then I come home and I do home stuff. So I come home at night. You guys see me. I'll be like, okay, you guys, I got to leave the chat because I'm going home now. And it's, 9:30, 10, 11 o'clock at night. I don't want to be editing. If anyone has done editing, it takes hours. A 5-minute video takes hours to clip down and move around. And people don't realize that. I don't have the time to do all that as much as some of these other channels do.
I think that boils down to, I mean, some of like, the biggest and the best, like, with the most viewers, like these guys, maybe some of them are, I don't know, but you almost have to assume they're not editing their own videos. They're shooting the content. They're paying somebody else to deal with it, which is another position I really can't find myself in. Nor can Mike. We work with each other, and we do we do as much as we can? I don't know, probably not. Do we do though? I mean, we do, man. We can't. The last thing I want to do is get online and make a video and like look tired or take it half seriously, and it just and have like crap content for the sake of content.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, you guys are lucky though. You have, when you do your videos, you have people to talk to. Like, you have each other to talk to. I have this little tiny machine on top of my screen, and I have to act like it's interacting with me. And I'm just like, it's hard to do that too. It's hard to get the energy up to project that interaction with a little tiny camera.
Right, and you're trying to read the audience without being able to see them. Like, so you're trying to stick on topics that are relevant, that are entertaining, I suppose, in whatever form you want it to be. But you're not trying to like lose people. You're not trying to go off on a tangent, which is a thing I'm definitely known for. I've done a live stream twice by myself. I was a horse when I was like, who sits here and talks for 45 minutes? Like,
yeah,
I don't know what else to talk about. You guys, come on, like,
it's
so
hard
to be the one that does that. Like, I can't even speak to what you do. You've acquired stamina, if nothing else.
It's hard though to like you said, try to get interaction with the people in your chat. If they would interact more on, and I'm giving this advice to the chat in general, if you interact more with the people that are following your chat, it makes it so much easier for us to be able to connect and piggyback on it really, and expand and keep things going for you.
I just want to address Outlaw Jackson down here looking like the budget Fred Durst in the profile picture. Like, I don't suck at pool. I'm just a ramrod kind of. I'm a like pow, like I blow the pockets off the side of the table, like is what I do. Good at pool? Like, no, I have no English. I have no finesse. I'm brute force and ignorance. Smash cue ball into ball, make it go pocket. And if I miss, I miss. I don't care. I'm not strategic at all, bro. I'm just gentle. Don't hand me a stick and freaking tell me to be easy with it. It's not how you hit the pool ball, Livingston. I don't care. Who's now? The budget Fred.
You're not
Durst.
launching up across the room.
Did his hat say obey? Can we show him again? Like, can we just for a minute go back? Hold on. Can I show? No, only she can. Where'd he go? Yeah, he left the chat. Wrecked him. Yeah, look at him. Outlaw. Okay, I thought it said obey. Good thing. It should say obey. Probably look at him. Dressed like he's about to get his 35th booster. Come on, man.
I'm gonna laugh if he's knocking on your door here in 5 minutes.
It's all right. I know him personally. He knows where I live, so it's cool.
Some of the people in the chat are asking about the decor in your room.
Well, what do you want to know?
Everything.
Well,
how many inches is this picture from the ceiling? And did you center it just right?
Kind of. We eyed it out. What this is the, I think this is actually the southern sky. Most of these constellations we can't even see from where we live. China, Amazon. Also, that tapestry over there is just too cool. The longer you look at it, the more you see in it. And Mrs. Livingston has a full color edition of that thing that is just It's transcendental. Guitars are all real. Let's see, that's a a cool pointy one there. That's a Tom DeLonge Stratocaster. That's a special run Telecaster. The guy you can't really see there is a Line 6 Variax. It turns into all kinds of other guitars. I got a couple over here. That's the ugly ones over there.
That one.
All this, speakers and the amps, all this crap in the background actually works. These aren't like props back there. It's a real studio. I can make music in here as well as shoot videos. It's fun. It's actually, this room, if it appears big, believe me, it's not. It's like the size of a medium-sized walk-in closet. But
Wow.
we used clever, online film school camera angles to appear larger than we really are. But I mean, I'm about a foot from the ceiling here. So, Michael, my good buddy Mike, our studio used to be flipped the whole other way. Behind me, that's where the computer used to be, and we would face that way, and then we just turned the whole thing 90 degrees and did it this way. So I love showing this off. Now we can stand up because back here is, you can touch the ceiling. It's just a better setup. It's better.
I thought you guys moved rooms completely when you changed the studio. I didn't realize you just flipped it.
No, just flipped it and turned it right around 90. Well, I guess it'd be 180 degrees, north to south.
That's pretty awesome.
It's a heck of a setup. We've come a long way. We used to do these live streams of ours, especially. I mean, talk about cringe. I can't watch them. Sit in my garage on folding chairs, like you'd have at the local event center. Like you fucking fold them out and you sit there. We had the backdrop tied to the ceiling. We didn't have racks or nothing. We didn't have lights. And filming it on Mike's cell phone, yelling at it because we didn't have microphones. We've come so far. I tell you, and it's all because of you guys, really. I will say that we've never taken any of your money for what you see here. All that goes into our live stuff and the in-person events and what have you. But just the will to go on, that people liked what we were doing and thought it was cool and were following us and subscribing to us was like, oh, dude, I'm blowing my paycheck this week. We're gonna get better cameras. We're gonna upgrade stuff. We're gonna do better. And I got you guys to thank for pushing us along and spending more of my money than I should have. It's on you. I'm gonna hold it against you forever.
You guys should do a throwback one of these times, a throwback live stream, and pull up some of your old videos and do a reaction to them.
Oh God. All right, Livingston Man reacts to Livingston Man. I would probably puke. Like, what are you doing? Oh God. You at least shave your face. Look at you. I just, but we got away with it somehow and earned subscribers from it. And for whatever reason, again, I thank y'all. Led up to me being here right now. I was very flattered. I'd never been invited to somebody else's channel before. And I at least got to praise you for having the cojones to have me out. Most people are like, I don't know, man. He seems a little crazy.
I was ecstatic that you said yes.
Mike's getting all these sponsorships and we're doing all this making moves and I've got people calling us up hey, would you rep us and stuff? And I'm waiting. He can't be in the video. We haven't heard it yet, which is another amazing thing. I just got to thank everybody for. Maybe I'm not as controversial as I thought. So I have to do better.
Do you still make music and upload music now? Because you were in a band before, weren't you?
I was in every band. There was all seven of us in the hometown here that played instruments. So we were in every, all seven of us have been in 28 bands together, playing every different instrument. So I still make music, especially again, with Mike's brother, Pat. We get together, we do the theme stuff. We're more into soundtracky kind of stuff, or stuff you'd hear on video games or, I dare say commercial purposes, but not really. We're not making any money, believe that. But we just make the music we would want to hear. It's a pure hobby thing. Just grab the guitar and throw a loop down and make a thing out of it. And the music you hear on Hudson Valley Prepping and Survival, we made that.
Mhm.
By hook or crook, whether it's Pat playing something, me playing something. Yeah, a collaborative thing. As for about go out, playing a band, play shows. Listen, I can barely hold a live stream down for an hour. I got time to be dragging amps and drums and shit upstairs for $100, and they bill you for the beer at the end of the night. Like, I did that long enough, and it was great, but probably done with that.
Where can they find your music now?
All right, so there's SoundCloud. It's not rap music. But SoundCloud. I think it's I don't even know what my own channel is called. I think it's called SoundLab 31. No caps, no spaces. The 31 is the numbers, so it'd be like SoundLab 31. Try searching that. Also, my friend Patty Roach's channel there, that'd be Mike's brother, is, so maybe it's Patty Roach. They still with the sirens, bro. Man, rest in peace, everybody. Yeah, look for me online. That's probably what you'll find.
Did they just look up Livingston Man?
The Livingston Man, I have I think one video of me playing my electric drum set on my channel.
On SoundCloud. How do they search for you?
Well, no, like I said, I personally don't have a SoundCloud. The SoundLab 31 thing would be our music on the SoundCloud.
Oh, okay.
This ain't great, man.
Somebody said to ask you about Cubana Escape.
Cubana Escape. That's Kevin Lehman. Okay, Kevin Lehman was literally in Cubana Escape. That's my homie right there. And Tank Houston, if he's here, he was in it too. That was our original comedy skit, man. That's go to YouTube and you'll type it. How come I can't comment here? What's going on? Don't mind me, just trying to fix the thing. I can't comment. Fine, that's fine. Well, type in, I think it's Craver Band. Craver Band, one word, no caps, no spaces. Craver Band, CraverBand. I believe on that channel you can find Cubana Escape, the sequel to Cubana Escape, and some old videos. This awesome band I used to be in, killing an epic show. Craver Band. There you go. Thank you. I was like, thank you. Oh yeah, my mother spark typed that.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I used to make music. That was the thing. Now between work, life, and every other thing, what do they call it? They say life gets in the way. I don't regret it. I ain't mad.
Stray Kitten wants to know if this is funny. Do the hipsters in Long Island keep gold and silver in their Subarus?
I think she's asking Hunter. He would know.
Yeah, he said some of those were your trigger words.
Hunter's a weird guy. Like, yeah, you never seen like the Trailer Park Boys?
Yes.
All right, so Randy Bobandy. Like, imagine him like an Italian American, and like that's Hunter 25. Like, he's always grilling, like walking around shirtless, sweaty, like it's floating in his pool like a manatee. Like
adding flavor to the food.
Yes. Seasonings all around, everybody. How did I get the name Livingston Man? I actually named myself that. And it was in homage to like the infamous Florida Man headlines. Like, go to Google and type in Florida Man and see what pops up. I was like, Livingston Man, like, let's get that. Let's make that a thing. I'm from the town of Livingston, New York, so it makes sense.
Oh.
There's like all 14, 15 of us that live here. Lots of fields,
cousins, right?
Fields, farms, deer, some sheep, cows, and chickens and horses.
Are you all cousins? Related?
No, interestingly enough, I'm actually not related to any of these inbred rednecks. It was a later edition. Actually came from Hudson, but I got more time in here than I did there, so I consider myself the guy. Plus, I don't want to be Hudson, man. I don't much care for what they got going on up there in Hudson right now. Not my speed.
When I went up there to see you guys in New York, this is going to make me look really stupid, but it's okay. I didn't know New York had mountains.
What'd you think it was? What'd you
I
think it
thought it was
was
all
like?
high rise.
Okay, so you're one of the, like you thought like the whole thing was like this city that gets people a lot. We
It
live in a
shocked me.
we're lucky to live in the Hudson Valley, especially. I'm not actually too familiar with like a lot of the country at all. I haven't done much traveling in my life. On average, I've probably been 100 miles from home ever. I went to France
Wow.
once. I went to France once. That was a
Yeah,
trip.
that's a little more than 100 miles. Just
Yeah,
saying.
but when you factor it all in and the fact that on the daily, I really only go about a mile or two. I went to, I've been to Vermont, I've been to Florida, Massachusetts, Connecticut, France, Ohio. Does it count? Does it count? Do you say I went to Ohio if all you really did is pass through it? Did you actually go there, or is that
No.
different? So you like you flew over it. That's not the same as going there, right?
If you didn't stop in there, you didn't verify it exists.
Oh, I did stop.
Just saying.
I stopped in Toledo. Toledo. I said, "Holy Toledo!" It looks like just what you'd think. I didn't see nothing impressive. I mean,
I'd assume it's flat. Is it pretty flat?
yeah, so the part where you come out of like Pennsylvania is pretty hilly. Like Pennsylvania sucks. I hated Pennsylvania so much. It's just they're like, "Hey, boss, how you want us to build the road?" And he was like, "By all means, just go up and over every single hill in the whole state." And they're like, "Really? Just up and over every single one?" He was like, "By all means," and that's what they did. Oh, fucking road! It's just this for like 2,000 miles. I don't know how Pennsylvania looks like it's this big on a map, but in real life, it's like twice the size of Texas. They just lie to you about it. You get there, and then all of a sudden, Ohio is just opened in front of you, and like there's all these signs like "Turn back now." Like, why would you come here? So we went there. I was like, I'm hungry. And the Burger King in Toledo, Ohio, had the best freaking French fries I've ever had in my life. So I have to admit that at least that little section of Ohio, unless I imagined it, which is possible, was okay. All right, because I would go there again. Like you want to go to Toledo, Ohio for those fries, and be like, let's go now. And then as the further west you go, it just get flatter and flatter until eventually you start to be able to. Now, some people will fight me on this, but I'm going to use the phrase "the curve of the earth." I know some of y'all can't handle it. I've seen it because Michigan is dead flat. Like that's just they're like, you want hills? They were like, no, we will not have those. And so you get there and you can just the sun never sets in Michigan. Michigan really is the kind of the planet Earth. The sun orbits it, and we're just sort of connected to it through time and space, right? You guys are following me. You're smart. This is big brain shit. And so then you get to Michigan to this hippie festival and you burn for 4 days in the sun. You contemplate whether this is even real at all. You went back. Ohio didn't even exist to me on the way back. Somehow it was not part of the equation. Michigan just went to Pennsylvania and then that was it. Was Ohio just a fever dream? Was this fear and loathing in Ohio? I can't really say. Some people claim to be there, but I'm like, of course you would say that. Me and a buddy of mine were contemplating each other's reality once, and he's like, "How do I know you're real?" I was like, "I can assure you I'm real." And he's like, "Well, of course you'd say that." And that's stuck with me forever. So what real, please? You think you know?
Did you punch him and ask him if it hurt?
But then that was on me because I'm like, of course he'd say that. That is this Inception? Are we even awake, you guys? You don't know. You can't know. You're not allowed to know.
That is true. Sometimes I question if everything that's going on is reality or not.
Devil Dog Prepper said, "Come to my place. I'll show you Ohio." Damn. It's like the word Ohio looks like a tractor. You guys know that? Type it. Look at it. Looks like a tractor, doesn't it? Mm-hmm.
I'll never unsee that now.
You learn something every day with the Livingston, man. I'm full of useless knowledge you'll never need.
With all of the knowledge that you have now, Livingston, if you could go back in time and tell yourself something about today to prepare, to avoid, to whatever, change something. I don't care. Whatever you would say to yourself, what would you say to yourself?
Hmm. No. All right. I think what I got a big philosophy of mine, and one that I kind of hold very seriously. In fact, one of the maybe the only things keeping me as sane as I try to appear to be is I try not to regret anything. I try to accept everything that's ever happened, because it is what it is. To
Mhm.
be a little cheap like that, unless you are in a position to change something that happened in the past. I cannot allow myself to be dragged down by like regret or things like this. You can hold private thoughts and feel bad about something, but you can't let something that you can't change cripple yourself, and eat you up and kill you on the inside, because it will, until you realize that, like, and you can go through a shoulda, coulda, but it's just not what happened. It's just
Mhm.
not what happened, and there's nothing you can do about it, and you gotta slide by it. So I would say to myself, just keep doing what you're doing.
Oh, what ifs can definitely kill a person.
And they're endless and they're meaningless
Mhm.
at the same time.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I believe that everything happens for a reason, if even if I don't understand the reason at the time.
But sometimes the reason is there isn't one.
Mhm.
Like senseless, well, if we're on it like that, tragedy especially happens. It's one of the most evil facts of life there is it, it is what it is.
Speaking of
You guys
tragedies,
still, we all happy now? We happy now, aren't we? This, it went dark on them. Got them.
what do you think
Outlaw Jack's crying right now.
some
He
of the
regrets.
nonsense conspiracies out there, what do you think of them? Some of the nonsense ones. We know
All
that
right,
that a lot of the conspiracies are true, but
cool.
it seems like they're pulling strings now.
I had hoped that we would come back to this. We were talking about this in the green room earlier there,
Mhm.
and would I put what I said was, would I put anything really past the U.S. government or a giant elites or whatever? Right? No. Plausibly, you gotta be open minded, question everything, and at the same time, you got to be a little open to, like, maybe not believing everything, but like at least read it. Like, know what they're saying. Some of this stuff, like you said, they're pushing. They're either
Mhm.
making it up and be like, "Here's what people are saying." It's like nobody was saying it. You said that, or they're planting seeds and then they're hoping other people will run with it. Is kind of what I think's going on.
Mhm.
There are genuine conspiracy theories. There are unexplained phenomenon and events that don't add up to what the so-called official explanation of it was. That's a fact. Is everything some twisted agenda that you're supposed to, like, somehow be able to decode and all this? Like, listen, human government is not capable of this level of competence. We can't pave a road
Especially our current
properly
government.
on time, but you think all this now, unless that's where I got to step back and be like, unless that's why we can't pave a road, because all resources and all everything is going to this massive global conspiracy that only here's another thing. Everybody's worried about, like, this shadow government, all these invisible rich people running the world, they pulling the strings, and I'm like, that's very cool, but what about the extremely visible, actual physical 13 people who are pulling the strings and controlling
Mhm.
everything? You're like, they're hiding under, they're all right there, but everybody's like, no, it's a secret. I'm like, it's not. That's the conspiracy is that there's a secret. It's not. It's right there, hiding in plain sight. You want me
They
to
really
go?
have done that a lot too this last couple years, hiding in plain sight.
It's right there. I mean, you can't
Mhm.
look at what's going on and think that, like, one, that, like, big business, especially, like, all of them, big money business, $1 billion shit. They're not all in cahoots with each other. They're all sitting at the same table, eating steak, plotting the next move, making sure they don't violate laws, too bad, too obviously, I should say. But then they act like they compete with each other. They don't. It's just like the politicians. They all sit down, eat the steak, and hang out, and are good buddies in their gentlemen's club. Oh, yeah, you doing there? I'm 150 years old. I should have retired, but I'm not gonna. Oh, me too. And that's what you're up against. The people who are hiding, they're not even hiding. They're laughing in your face and getting away with it, while you blame some shadow people that maybe don't exist. Maybe you were just told that they do, so you hate them instead.
Plus the little things that they do, the little things that they tweak is created for us to literally destroy ourselves.
Yeah, they want you to react, fight with each other, draw a line, lose friends and stuff over like trivial nonsense that like most of the time doesn't really affect you, but you got to feel some way about it. You got to come out on Facebook and support the current thing, bro. I do not support the current thing, bro. I hate your guts, bro. Yeah, you too, bro. Yeah, easy as that. All of a sudden, like Civil War shit, but online. Brother against brother, family against family, job site against job site. Look at that sticker on the back of his car. I hate that guy. Come on.
Well, we were talking about two people talking, believing the science. Not obviously this community, but the other communities out there believing the science. And I had made the comment that the same people that are saying you have to believe the science are the same people not sending their kids to public schools to not be indoctrinated, not realizing that those scientists were also and are also indoctrinated. So you can't have it one way and not, disagree with it on the other as well.
Oh, sure. And, apparently not really even so much America, but let's call it like Western culture, just because I'm not too familiar with what goes on overseas and I ain't going to act like it, that you can be paid for your opinion. And it doesn't even have to be your opinion. Like essentially you are paid to give an endorsement. And if you didn't know that Big Pharma pays doctors to endorse their medicine,
yes,
I'm sorry to be the one to tell you now, but like I said, you learn something every day. And that happened. And when they're offering lots of perks or even money or, whatever is going on here, there's no laws that prevent this, apparently. So morally, was this right? Probably not. Legally, did these people do something wrong? No. In Western style capitalism, people will sell anything. And in this case, doctors sold their write-off on stuff they really didn't know about or didn't care to know about. They just wanted a paycheck. Did all doctors do that? No. Did influential ones do it that were enough to make what happened happen? Yeah. And that's creepy.
It's hard because the big companies, whether it be pharmaceutical, government, Walmart, whatever, the bigger companies, the higher up you get, the more they are paying you off to do their deeds for them. And they don't care as long as they're getting paid or getting power in their hands. They don't care what they do because we're nothing to them.
Well, sure. You can't come at them legally because you can't afford to. They got millions and millions and millions of dollars to spend on lawyers that'll just bury you. You'll never go anywhere with anything. That's that super entrenched power. Like you could almost equate this to what my good buddy there calls the swamp. It's that entrenched, like that foundation of the system that holds the whole rotten thing up, and is what the stage we're in, especially as Americans now. I'm not a communist, but a lot of times I sound like one, and that's because this that we're doing now, economically and socially, is not going to last. It can't. And that's not me saying that. That's like, look out your window, just look at the world, and you can tell that we cannot sustain this, whatever this is. So people are like, well, you're a fucking liberal communist. I'm like, no, I just can't stand this rotten house. And I think instead of caulking it, patching it, and just fix it a little bit here to just keep propping it up. Like, is enough. And it's just, you got to build a new house, man. Like, you got to move out. Like, condemned. Like, how many metaphors you want me to use? The termites ate the whole damn thing, and we got to get out of here. You know?
So where do you see us in 5 years?
Wow. All right. Okay.
You didn't know that was coming.
I hate this question. Don't say doing your husband. Don't say doing your husband. Don't say doing your husband. All right. So 5 years as what, as Americans or the world in general?
The world in general.
I don't think too much farther along than we are now. I don't really believe, I don't see any reason to think, unless the so-called aliens are going to drop like the season finale on us. I don't really like I think we're like in the end times, right?
Me too.
But I think that it's going to be like this awful slow burn. Like, it's just like worst apocalypse ever, dude. Like, this is taking too long. I think in 5 years we'll just be in like the same place, but even more like, yeah. I remember when gas used to be $5 a gallon, damn it. Fucking hate President Hunter Biden, bro. He stole the election. You know what I mean? It's where we're going to be. Like, honestly, just like history continuously repeating itself and never learning anything.
That is true. History does repeat itself with everything. It's disgusting.
And you can see it and yet powerless to stop it. It's like the people, what do they call that? The Cassandra effect. Cassandra was some sort of Greek or Roman person. She was blessed / cursed with the gift of being able to see the future, but powerless to do anything to change it. I think that's all of us anymore. You can see the storm coming, and you just get to stand there with your hand up your butt. Here it comes, guys. What should we stop it? Everybody's like, I don't know what could we do? What could we do?
Yeah.
You know?
It definitely is not fun seeing things to come. That's for sure.
I think at this, for a glimmer of hope. Listen, I'm not all whatever the opposite of a rainbow is and rain clouds. Progress will continue. Our TVs will get bigger. Our phones will get thinner. Maybe they'll even fold. Perhaps you can roll them up. They will continuously give us like more and more, like dumb you down, make you connected. But the more connected you are, you ever realize how disconnected you actually are? The trend is going to be to connect you. You're going to be every single thing. You're going to have to log in with a password to flush your toilet, bro, because that's going to be part of the premium plan, like subscription-based everything, like Bitcoin. The cryptocurrency, the whole one world government shit. Like, they're going to do that. That's going to happen, and there's nothing you can do about it to stop it, because you rely on currency, period. Whatever you want to think currency is what they tell you they're going to accept at the store where you buy your milk and bread. And this is the turning point. This is the fork in the road here where you decide, am I going to prep for that system, or will I prep for an alternative where I don't have to rely on that? Most of us in this community already recognize that fork was in the road and took a path.
Yep.
If you're first time here, this is the fork in the road. What I described just then is real and will happen.
All right, we're at 59 minutes.
59
already.
Minutes. We got 55 seconds left.
In 55 seconds, give the most important message to people that you can give them with the world the way it's shitty is now.
Some of us have no choice but to rely on others or services and infrastructure. Rural folks, urban folks, rich people, poor people. You're all going to face different circumstances in this journey of life that at the end of the day, if you live, you survived. It's all going to be different. What you got to do is decide like how you would go forward. Try and imagine everything you know being gone. And what are the things you would just really want to preserve? What are the elements of that you would need to preserve in your life, and plan for that? You don't have to follow the crowd. You don't have to get name brand stuff. You don't have to. Some of these things are indeed fundamentals. I should stop myself there. All right, don't go reinventing the mousetrap on some of this stuff. Otherwise, a lot of it's going to boil really down to not only personal preference, but personal like situation. My situation for prepping ain't yours, and all the way down the line. But be smart. Learn some off the grid skills. Learn some the old ways. You know, how grandma do it. Like I like to point out a lot that depending on how old you are, it's possible that your grandmother and most probably your great grandmother had never seen a refrigerator. You're two generations removed from what we would consider to be the dark ages. All right. There are things in your blood that you know how to do that you don't know you know how to do. This newly fangled technologist, this is not the natural state of the human species. The simpler, older ways are. We lived hundreds of thousands of years the whole time. We lived the whole time without everything we consider modern. And remember that there is hope, even when there is none of all this. You know what to do.
Good words.
I'll leave it at that.
All right.
I so totally appreciate you having me. This has been a blast. I don't often just get to sit here and yakety yak. My wife would have been like, babe, my song is on. Can you, you know what I mean? Yeah. This is super fun. I had a good time. Thank you for having me so much. Thank all you guys in the chat. I didn't even pay attention to y'all. Y'all boring. Probably making fun of me the whole time. Bet you were. I'll read it back. Retribution's coming.
I appreciate you letting me pick your brain and throw questions at you that you weren't expecting, but I knew you could handle them.
It's self-analyzation is always a little difficult when somebody, please tell us about yourself. I'm like, please don't ask me to do that. I barely know myself. Who am I even? You know? So yeah, it was fun. Threw me off my kilter a little bit. I enjoyed myself.
Hopefully we can do this again soon, because this was a blast, or maybe we can even get a whole panel up and pick each other's brains.
It would be super cool. Maybe me, I can like hit Mike with a steel chair out of like, it's Livingston, man, with the steel chair. I actually beef with Mike. We don't even like each other. We just keep the marriage together for you guys.
We'd pay to watch that wrestling match. But thank you, Mike, for being here and moderating. I appreciate my mods very much. I want to thank everyone in chat for being here. If you've not checked out Livingston Man, I'm going to post his channel again. Please check him out, subscribe, comment, hit the thumbs up when you watch a video. He does some really awesome videos. They're very funny, and he's real. What you see is what you get.
Prepare to be amazed.
You'll also see him on Tuesdays and Wednesdays on Hudson Valley Prepping and Survival. They tag team together, him and Mike, which is always a fun time. The chat always goes out of hand, and I'm going to say I have nothing to do with that. And
you guys did. You kind of heard that one dude right out of the chat the other night. I seen that. I was like, hell with that guy anyway.
But other than that, you guys be safe and always be kind to each other. Love each other, and have a very amazing night. Good night, y'all.